we're in the music capital of the world, Coachella, talking to you.
You have my sympathies. I was there once. It was terrible.
Wait, why?
A friend of mine was, Kim Deal was playing at Coachella, and she invited my wife and myself to the thing.
Did you glamp?
Sorry?
Did you glamp?
No, we
Did
drove.
you go glamping?
We drove in a car.
No, but she means like when you stayed, did you stay in like a luxurious 5-star tent that was like
we
with a
didn't
queen-size
stay.
bed?
I'm not gonna suffer that thing for more than, a couple of hours.
Where the fuck? Where else is there to? What do you mean? Then you went to the Indian casino afterward?
No,
What are you talking about?
no. Although good guess. No. We arrived about an hour before the show. Suffered all of the thing. Saw the show. Then I saw Kraftwerk in another tent by myself, and then we fucked off because it was torture.
That's a great story, Steve. Thanks for relating it.
I am, I'm known for my wit and brevity.
I too hate to see Kim Deal and Kraftwerk at Coachella.
No, the shows were good.
A bad time.
The shows were good. I enjoyed seeing my friend play, and I enjoyed seeing Kraftwerk. That part of it was great.
Well, probably because you were rolling on Molly the whole time, right?
I don't know if that was her name, but but everything about it was just so exploitative and so atrocious. It's this incredibly expensive experience for all the people there. Just to get in the gate is incredibly expensive. They treated everyone like animals, but not just like animals, but like animals that they had a grudge against.
But you didn't get any like sweet swag from the Monster Energy Dome or anything like that? Isn't that worth it?
Sorry, no.
Mm.
I have a profound distaste for promotion and advertising. I don't know if that I realize that makes me unsuited for these times when everything is being monetized through likes and subscriptions and stuff. But
I know anyone who has read your Wikipedia would be aware of that.
Would you be willing to license your own line of Steve Albini babies?
No. You'd be surprised how often it's his name.
You want to start listening to some terrible music?
Sure.
Where are we going?
That's my
Have we
job.
started? Are we recording?
Or we could just keep talking
I'm easy.
until you get comfortable. Are you comfortable?
Recording.
Yes.
No, I'm uncomfortable. I told you I'm staring at 3 women in their bedclothes in a hotel room. That makes me very nervous.
Okay, if it helps, this is my going out outfit. I'm about to go to a club after this. So
Okay.
I don't know. I'm about to go to Coachella, honestly.
I'm about to give birth.
These are all of our Coachella looks this year. We just haven't put on our headdresses yet.
All right. So, but for a regular Coachella participant, like, how close is the Coachella experience to, say, the Burning Man experience, which is another freak scene that I've always avoided?
They're almost exactly the same, except there's less orgies.
Is this where I should be a pedant and say fewer orgies?
No, you shouldn't have said that.
Or what do you mean? Or you mean that the orgies are of a lesser caliber? Which
There are less of them, but also I guess at Coachella they're more hidden, and at Burning Man they're way more. They're like attractions that you actually pay to see.
Wow.
Yeah, in acid. All the currency is acid.
Considering that you have to bring everything with you and can't use money at Burning Man, but Coachella, you also have to bring everything with you, but then they tell you can't bring it in. And there's nothing but money in use at Coachella. So quite different experiences, I would think.
Owned.
Owned, she said.
I'll take it.
Bring a clear bag, a transparent bag, in case you're a terrorist, because then you can't hide your bomb or your gun if your bag is see-through.
Wait, do you think like a terrorist wants to kill Diplo or whatever the fuck?
Yeah, 100%. That would be a tragedy.
How is this? How are we fighting against this thing that you're proposing? That's what everyone.
Well, I'm not saying it shouldn't happen. I'm just saying that's what Coachella doesn't want to happen.
Terrorist
enough.
Diplo. it technically it wouldn't be a terrorist. I mean,
It would be a hero. It would be a martyr.
For the cause, yeah.
So my wife had brought her
My wife.
medicine with her in her purse and a bottle of water, and they made her discard her bottle of water, and they were just about ready to tell her that she couldn't have the medicine that she needs to take on schedule every day. They were just about to tell her that no, she couldn't do that while she was at Coachella. And she's a very persuasive woman, my wife, and she convinced them that they wouldn't survive that kind of an interaction. So they
So
relented.
she convinced them that if they don't let her have her medicine, she
That
it
she
would
would take them
actually
apart.
be, and it finally convinced them that like maybe she would die, and they'd be like, oh, okay, I guess you can have your medicine.
Oh no, they don't care if she would die. They cared that it would look bad for them,
Right.
or they cared that they might get in trouble with the superior.
Do you think no one can die at Coachella just like no one can legally die at Disneyland?
I think people have died at both places, have they not?
Yeah, but Disneyland has a thing where they refuse to say that somebody actually died at Disneyland. They always say that they died en route to the hospital or at the hospital.
I didn't know that. Solid branding effort on their part.
That's what's up.
If anyone ever dies in your studio, now you know what to say.
I mean, I would hope that I would respond in a more humane. I would first express sympathy and concern, and
speaking of
make sure
dying in
that
your
our-
studio, which album do you consider to be more culturally impactful that you had engineered? Drunken Lullabies or Swagger by Flogging Molly?
Those are my two choices.
Well, those are the two best ones.
Oh, okay. I believe you. I'm.
Not know that? Were you not aware that those were the two best?
I don't rank them. Sorry.
Come
That's for other
on.
people. That's none of my business.
Come
That's for-
on. You do.
That's so diplomatic.
By saying that you're above hierarchical thinking, you're still putting yourself on a hierarchy.
I mean, no, you are, but that's fine. You're welcome to do that.
You're putting the diplo in diplomatic right now.
No, I mean, my job as an engineer in the studio is to satisfy whoever walks in through the door, and let them help them make the kind of record they want to make.
Oh, really?
My hope is that it will be a great record, but I'm not really the person that has to make that call. Like all the people that are intimate with that music, the people in the band and their audience, those people get to make that call. And I just don't want to drop the ball along the way. That's my main concern.
I thought it was all the fat virgins that write for Pitchfork were the ones that made the call ultimately.
I mean, I think I started hating Pitchfork on day one, so I'm probably like, I think I have the most experience dismissing Pitchfork's opinion of anybody.
You probably have a lot of experience segueing to the bit with SoundCloud, right? I think you're a big SoundCloud guy. You like the beats, you like the EDM, all that shit.
No, I'm aware of SoundCloud. Obviously, it's a professional obligation. I have to know what SoundCloud is, but I don't spend a lot of time on it for funsies.
Well, you want to check it out with us?
Sure, might as well. It'll take my mind off of all of this. Yeah.
All right, what do we got here? I can't even see the screen. It's too far away. Hallstone is the name of this group. Okay.
Okay.
We got 3 followers, 2 following.
Oh.
That's lamentable. Okay.
Well, I mean,
Well, we all start from 0, though.
I'm guessing that those are
Very
household
underground.
members and or people who were professionally obligated from having worked on the project. Those are my first 2 guesses.
By professionally obligated, you mean coworkers at GameStop with them?
Oh, well, no, I mean other people who, like, if this is a project that required more than one person, whoever the other person was,
Right.
they probably felt obliged, so that it wouldn't
so-
look bad.
That's pro tip number 1. If you're going to start a band, you should have as many people as possible in it, so then they can all follow, like, and share your shit online, right?
Yeah, I don't subscribe to that notion, but yeah, sure.
Google bordello
You're probably more professional at promotion than I am.
That's what you think, bitch. Let's listen to something. Click that, Brian.
recorded at a baseball stadium.
This has big, like, Borders books and music rock energy to it.
I don't think it's good enough.
It's an excellent point.
Any thoughts?
Well, actually, this particular instrumental combination of acoustic guitar and Hammond organ, that's not common. You know, those are like typically a Hammond organ is part of an ensemble or solo, like you hear it at the ballpark or at church or whatever,
Right.
and on its own. And for what it's worth, there's the organist at Fenway Park in Boston would take requests over social media for songs to learn and play during the seventh inning stretch or during in between batters.
Sell out.
I think it's incredibly charming. There's a list. There's a list online of all the songs, and it's some incredibly obscure stuff. You know, like deep cuts from the third wave punk ska revival, that sort of stuff. Like, and just very accommodating guy would genuinely try to get into and adapt and learn and arrange like the most obscure shit for the benefit of literally one person who texted.
What could you recommend us to listen to from the third wave punk ska?
Literally none of it.
I'm going to be honest, I didn't expect you to actually listen to and critically analyze any of this.
I'm sorry, I kind of thought that was what you were asking me to do. So
What did you think of the birds?
I'm always down with any sound effects added to music as Foley, like especially if there's like a fight sequence or something and you can hear stuff breaking. There's a band called.
So you think songs should be more like movies?
I love it when there's extra musical content in a song. Like there's a band from the 80s called Killdozer, and there's a song of theirs that has someone being murdered in the middle of it, and the sound of the murder was done using all these old school Hollywood Foley tricks, like snapping breadsticks and tearing a cabbage apart to make the like flesh rending sound and stuff. And I just love knowing that things like that are viable. And when you hear those, it's a little treat that there's that somebody went the extra mile. They didn't just say, I killed this guy. They say, I killed this guy. And then you hear the dismembering as part of the music. I love that sort of stuff. It's great.
So you're saying that this guy should have more birds on his twee. No one asked you to record this Hammond organ, guitar, solo guitar venture.
Yeah. I mean, being frank, I didn't really listen to the music, so I don't have an opinion on the music. I was just listening to the effect of the recording, the effect of hearing it. And it's, if this guy gets satisfaction out of this, that's a reason enough to do it. But what titillates me is...
Don't say that. You're going to encourage too many people.
Yeah, pump the brakes, man.
I don't know. I mean, I think everybody should do all of this stuff, and the last thing anybody should be concerned with is whether or not somebody else likes it. I mean, but why? That's like such a fucking trivial thing.
Well, I guess we'll just go fuck ourselves then, because that's our whole job.
Yeah, you just ruined the whole premise of our show that we've been doing for a year and a half.
You're canceling us.
Yeah, I mean, any creative enterprise, you guys, you're creative people, you know this. Like if you come up with something for one of your performances and it means a lot to you, and you think that it's valid and that it's expressing your creative impulse in a way that stimulates you as an artist, if you do that, then you win. You've won. If nobody gets it, that's their fucking problem, you know? And I feel like there's an English DJ named John Peel, and he was incredibly generous of spirit, and he would meticulously listen to all of these dreadful records that were sent to him through the mail. Like, people wanting to get played on the radio would address records to him. I know that because I sent my record to him, and I'm sure I'm one of millions of people who did that, right? Mm-hmm. And I met him later in life, and I had got to know him and his wife Sheila a little bit. And over dinner one night, he was talking about his routine. He just sets aside hours of every day to listen to everything that people sent him, you know, and just as a professional obligation on his part and as a matter of diligence so that he doesn't miss anything, he would listen to every single thing that anybody sent him. It just blew my mind. I probably get sent 1% of what he was being sent, and I don't listen to any of it, you know? I just, I don't have the patience. So, and then the more we talked about it, this perspective came out, which was, people are doing this because it means something to them. It means the world to them to have to make their creative expression and to satisfy that primal instinct to communicate with somebody else. So they're doing this thing because they're driven to do it, right?
Right.
And if I don't see the value in it, that doesn't mean that it has no value. What it means is that it missed me, or that I missed it, or that I'm deaf to it for some reason. And and when he started talking about that, this is a guy who played music on the radio professionally so that other people could hear it, and was incredibly influential. And he was humble enough to realize that there was music out there that just he wasn't going to get, and that it wasn't the fault of the people who made it, and it wasn't their job to cater to him and his tastes. And that had a profound impact on me, because I was a much bigger prick before that dinner. Like,
well,
from that
also
forward, I think I've been much less judgmental.
Also, I mean, John Peel didn't fuck kids like Rodney Bingenheimer did.
I'll take your word for it. I'm going to assume that's true.
Yeah, I only speak the truth.
Well, at the end of the day, though, some songs made it to the radio and some songs didn't.
Yeah,
so...
those are the ones that he was lucky enough to connect with, you know. There's a term that I use in the studio that I think is applicable to the real world as well. Like, if I'm listening to something in the studio that somebody's working on, and they play something and it sounds like a mistake to me, or it sounds like it was unintentional, or it sounds like discordant or whatever, I'll draw their attention to it on playback and say, hey, I heard this thing, this sounded really weird to me. Just check it and make sure that that's what you intended to play. And if they hear it on playback and say, yeah, that's how it goes, or either that, or yeah, I like that, that's surprising. Well, then I can clear my mind of that and just forget about it. Like, that means that it is correct, because the person who authored it says it's correct, and that I didn't get it on in the spot, you know, like in real time, that I didn't get it. That's on me. And the term that I coined for that is listener error. And I think if people, obviously, when you're listening to music, you should listen to the music that stimulates you, that you like, you know, that animates you in some way. I'm not saying that people should listen to garbage. I mean, I make a point of not listening to garbage music in my free time. But what I'm getting at is that there's no universal adjudication that this is good music and this is bad music. There's just music that rings your bell and music that doesn't. And I think it's a mistake to dismiss as bad music that is not for you, unless what you mean when you say it's bad music is music that you don't like, that's how I use the term. Like, if ever I refer to something as being bad music, poorly played or whatever, what I mean is that it's music that I don't like. And that, you know, again, that's on me.
What if you're like a comedian, right? Like on a show that's about calling things bad. What then?
Yeah, what then?
Have at it, you know?
interesting.
I mean, what I can do is I can add
A lot to think about.
what I can do is I can add a little seasoning to the salad of abuse that you guys want to lay on the people that you're listening to. And my
So
seasoning.
you want to be the nice guy. You want to do the good cop, bad cop kind of thing.
No,
even though all cops are bad.
Yeah, so
Let-
fuck us.
Let's say there's something that you hate, right? Perhaps I can.
Why do I have to pick just one thing?
I mean, everybody has a list.
Right.
But let's say that you're listening to something and it's torturing you. Like, I might be able to provide some insight as to what about it is torturous, or why something is the way it is.
Okay, well let's check out another group or act or whatever, see if this is truly torturous.
Let's start the complain saw. Yeah, just cut through culture.
Can we maybe listen to a little more of that one song we were hearing?
It was playing the whole time.
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
Never mind then. I guess it was playing the whole time.
Okay.
Yeah,
Background rock.
I'll have to say that, you know, at this stage in my life as an old man and as a person who's been surrounded and battered by music professionally for 30 odd years, or 40 fucking years now that I think about it, my patience for listening as a pastime to a dude and his complaints and his guitar is very, very low. My patience, I'm pretty worn thin for hearing guys complain over their own guitar. So,
But what if the guys are white?
worse, way worse.
I mean, have you seen what white guys are going through lately?
Fuck them.
What about if the song is like, hey, wait, I got a new complaint.
That is a meta complaint. He's complaining about having to complain about so many things.
There you go. Yeah.
Already elevated the art form.
All right, Brian, click on a track from this goon.
Wait a minute. That says Blooptober Swing.
Yes, it does. This is Allison asked what the noise is, and it's actually just the song.
Yeah.
Who is this?
Already, I like this more than the guy with the complaint. It sort of sounds like a close-up recording of a guy chewing on something.
Yeah, you said you wanted more ADR in music. Here you go. Why don't we make all the music out of ADR?
This feels just like ASMR to me.
But you can definitely hear it chomping in there. Good fan so far. Very much liking this.
Okay, I think this is the chorus.
There's like a combination of like a digital glitching plus the sound of a bag of Cheetos being torn open that I'm kind of into.
It's got big flarp energy.
Do you think this is a love song?
Genuinely liking this moment.
Okay.
I do like this thing. There's a thing that happens in electronic music where the basic presentation is very brittle and very direct sounding because it's all electronic instruments and it's not acoustically recorded. So then every now and again they'll sort of synthesize a big ambient sound using an electronic reverb or an echo.
Right.
And that sort of takes this very focused, very close, very hard etched sound and sort of makes it billow as though it just happened in an auditorium or something. And it's totally fake, but there's something about that moment, that moment where it's almost like, as an artist, they've realized that it's irritating to hear things in this direct electronic fashion.
Mm-hmm.
So they want to take a breather and give the sound a little space, right? It's almost like an admission that what they're doing is too small and too irritating to have any human effect. So then they synthesize this acoustic experience, like we've all heard a sound in an auditorium or whatever, where it sort of echoes around you.
Yeah.
And it's almost like they're saying, yeah, this is a sound that you should take seriously because it could also do that if you saw it in person. That happens quite often in electronic music, where people they like nudge you into thinking that what they're doing is real by putting this sense of ambience on it. And I think it's a nice self-awareness on their part about how the music is alien, and they don't want it to be alien. They want you to connect with it in some kind of a human way. So I'm charmed by that. It makes me think more of the person doing it, that they thought about it at least that far. You know.
Have you ever considered that you've thought too much about this?
Sure.
Cool.
Very old, and I've been doing this every day forever. So like, almost all these hours hit me at one point.
Shut up, I'm trying to listen to this.
What are you drinking?
To me, it just feels like the opening credits to like a Fincher film. Anything by, or like, yeah, any beginning credit to like an American Horror Story.
So you can imagine yourself sitting in a dark theater, Dolby popping off, playing just nondescript sounds of chewing.
Yeah,
I mean,
while names are like starring, directed by.
What it reminds me of is that the sound from the video game Qbert, where Qbert is bouncing from square to square. You hear these nice little boings.
Hubert on acid in hell.
Yeah, there was a period in the 70s and 80s, the music concrete period of the electronic music, where before there were a lot of synthesizers available commercially where you could sculpt regular music out of synthesis. This is actually going back into the 60s. A lot of the earliest electronic music was very noisy and very chaotic, just because synthesis and electronic music hadn't evolved in concert with acoustic instruments or conventional instruments. They evolved separately from a sort of a technical side. And so that aesthetic, the sort of noisy, clattery, music concrete, tapes, editing, pure noise electronics, that kind of aesthetic started to wane in the 80s and beyond, when like synthesizers got more capable, and especially now in computer music, where you can sample any real sound or synthesize a lot of sounds. That aesthetic is much less common. And it's slightly nostalgic for me to hear music that's constructed of these like pure sounds. And I'm not a nostalgic person by nature, but it's weird to come across a moment of nostalgia that you didn't expect, you know?
Well, you don't know that this SoundCloud wasn't recorded in 1968
Oh, sure I do.
and
Yeah,
uploaded in 69. You don't know that.
I
Oh,
do.
He knows.
Oh, yeah, okay, you know.
They put the date right on it.
What are you wearing on your head? Is that an Albini?
Emily likes making puns.
Solid. No, it's sure, you can call it that. I would refer to it as a hat.
Mhm.
And
A toque?
it's a make do for the fact that my hair is preposterously long. I have this coronavirus pompadour now.
Right. That's responsible, though, man.
Hey,
And-
Supercuts is open again, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just come to the valley. Come to drive to California. Go to the valley. You can go to.
I'll take you to my guy. It's $23.
Well, I appreciate that, but I don't think I have the patience to suffer a haircut at the moment.
Do you want to suffer another profile?
Sure, tear it up.
Boom.
I don't think it's really. I think you actually are enjoying these, which is.
I mean, that last
really
one kept me engaged pretty much the whole time.
Yeah, this really bums us out that you're enjoying this. Okay, this looks like it might suck. Roll that beautiful bean footage.
Well, it's called God Analog, so already I hate it.
There we go.
I didn't see that coming. I'm gonna be honest with you. Oh, I'm sorry. Is this man's inner thoughts boring you?
There's a kind of a synthesis of many associated things underway here.
Mm-hmm. What do you think this person's main influence is?
I don't know. But I mean, I can tell stylistically that there are things that are borrowed from some of the more like sort of mainstream industrial artists like Nine Inch Nails, and some of the loop quality of the drumming is borrowed from the early 90s when like people were putting identifiable drum loops in their music, and the drum programming on this is meant to synthesize that memory. You know, it's sort of meant to trigger that memory of, oh, I remember when that Beck record came out or whatever, you know. And but then the vocal delivery has that sort of emo pop punk intimacy that really just makes me want to. I don't want.
Say it sucks ass.
I don't want this person to
sucks
suffer. I don't want this person to suffer. But if that persona, the singing persona, not the person singing, but the character in the song who's confessing in this way to us, I want that person to suffer a slow
Right.
death by strangulation.
That's diplomatic. Do we have one more, Brian? We play one more? I find it impossible to believe that this was recorded in this decade.
Well, there's the technological fingerprints. That is the rapid fire stylistic changes, the synthetic sound quality in general. All of those are sort of earmarks of this era. But the influences are clearly from the 90s and the early part of this century. And obviously there's like a fully thought out aesthetic in this person's worldview, and it sounds very successfully rendered. But this is one of those moments where it misses me as a listener. Yeah.
God.
So it sucks ass.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you think that there is potential for guitar-driven rock music in the future?
Sure. Oh, sure. Yeah. Every 3 or 4 years, somebody comes with the take that guitar music is over or whatever. And, you know, they've been wrong for 70 years so far. So I don't think this one is right. You know. But my point about this fellow, I assume it's a dude.
I think you're probably correct. Yeah.
Is that I'm uncomfortable saying that it's bad. I'm perfectly comfortable saying that I don't want to hear it, and that music of this type I'm totally fine with it disappearing. Yeah.
Low key advocating genocide, but go off.
I think we have one more profile, right, Brian? We got one more to look at, and then when it comes to the show, I know you haven't seen it, no one else has. Generally, we judge all of the profiles, and then at the end, we follow the one that wins. In this instance, you will have to engineer a session with whoever wins this. So let's see if these people are up to snuff.
So when you say wins, is that the one you like the most or the one you like the least?
That's up to you, actually, because you're the one who's going to have to engineer all expenses paid.
I think we already know. Which one you're gonna pick. Unless this one surprises.
Unless this one fucking rips, dude. Let's see.
I'm now dreading this. Go ahead.
I think we have a winner.
Chicken dinner, bitch. This really ain't that bad relative to most of the things people send into us, I gotta say. It's so loud we can't hear you. That's how good it is. If it's too loud, it's too good. That's what they say, right?
Don't mind this at all.
They're really flouting their skills.
Okay. Yeah, Brian, if you could just stop it, Brian, that'd be great.
Wait a second.
Tal. E mais. Nós vamos tocar um rock agora. Boa. Vamos cantar um rock agora. Legal, um rock. Futebol. Se você ver.
What's that?
It sounds like we're hearing Portuguese, like a Portuguese location recording of somebody shouting over a PA or something.
Well, there you go. There's the fucking. There's the ADR you crave.
I did not mind a single second of that. I thought the hardcore flautistry at the beginning was very interesting. I love the texture, like hearing the texture of the lips and the puffing over the blowhole of the flute. I think that's actually like a nicely rendered recording of a flute. Has a lot of personality. I'm very into it.
Wasn't too long-winded?
Not for me. I have a couple of funny flute stories if you can bear with me.
Sure. Yeah, we got nothing but time.
In the 90s, I was making quite a few records at Abbey Road Studios in London.
Never heard of it.
It was during a period when rock bands were being heavily invested in by record labels because everybody was trying to find the next big rock band. And so, and at the time, it was during a lull in live recording in studios. Like even then, they'd just gotten through the 80s era of electronic production where most things were being done with samplers and sequencers and drum machines. So a large acoustic space like they have at Abbey Road was of very little commercial value to a recording studio. And so Abbey Road is actually slightly depressed in the market and was relatively inexpensive. So I was working there a lot with a lot of the rock bands that I did overseas. And I was in the middle of one of these records. I don't remember which one. I was in the middle of one of these records, and there's a corridor between Studio 2, which is the studio I was working in, and Studio 1, which is the big symphonic studio where they would do film soundtracks and stuff. And in the corridor between the two were a bunch of flight cases. And they were in the middle of doing some film soundtrack symphonic recording in Studio 1. In the hallway next to these flight cases, there was a ponytailed gentleman holding a little bundle of bamboo pan flutes.
Okay.
And he was rehearsing his part, his cue, sort of going toot 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 on the pan flute, right?
Mm.
And he was really nervous, like pacing back and forth in the hallway, like rehearsing this pan flute cue that he had to play. And at one point he like sort of got really animated and ran over to one of the flight cases, flipped open the flight case, and I saw inside there was just a fucking array of pan flute segments, like little short segments of 6 or 7 bamboo tubes.
Mm.
And he took apart the bundle that he had been tooting on and replaced one of the little leaves of the bundle with a new one, with a different one, maybe a slightly different timbre, slightly different intonation. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it seemed like he had to get it done in a hurry so he wouldn't be late for his cue. And in watching him like take this trivial instrument, the little bamboo pan flute, watching him take it seriously like that, and just, you could see from the flight cases that this guy was like the top pan flute guy, the top session pan flute guy, in the business. Like he was the number one first call. You got to call Rudy for the pan flutes because he just knocks it out of the park every time. He was that guy, that status studio musician, but for the pan flute, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, but he looked super nervous, like he had already blown take 1. And they said, all right, well, we're going to take a break and change the reel, and you go work on it out in the hallway, and we'll call you in for it. Like he was about to lose his number one pan flute guy status. It was like that harried looking. And this whole film played out in my head of the rest of this poor motherfucker's life, like trying to maintain the top dog position as the first call pan flute guy. And like he has some nemesis like Jorge, but like some up and coming pan flute guy that's getting all the perfume commercial gigs now,
gunning for his ass,
doing all the jungle movies or whatever. Like this whole thing just played out in my mind watching this guy pace and rehearse in the hallway. And I had never considered the pan flute as a serious instrument until that point. It seemed like a sort of trivial thing, like maracas or something that you might just, like anybody could pick up the pan flute and do it. And then I realized, no, there's an art to it. There's like a craft. This guy is the guy, He's probably doing online seminars of pan flute right now.
I didn't expect that us interviewing you would just be a series of you relating anecdotes about how you've experienced things that have made you chiller and more accepting of your fellow man. Really didn't expect that at all.
Yeah, but I did also just suggest that somebody should be strangled slowly. So I haven't worked it completely out of my system.
Right, that's true. It's a yin and yang thing. So who wins? This fucker?
Pan flute guy.
Flute, hands down.
Okay, that's what's up.
I mean, there's Portuguese involved. There's Portuguese and sound effects and like solid flute history. Yeah. The other flute story I was going to tell you, you mentioned that you had nothing but time. I can sense some unease there. Like I took you too literally when you said you had nothing but time. And if you want to
our time's worthless.
Fucking flute, I'm happy to shut up about the fucking flutes. But I have one other very modest flute story.
Let's go.
I was briefly the bass player for the Chicago punk band Peg Boy. They needed a bass player. They had some songs they'd written. And so I played bass on one record of theirs. I got a little glimpse of their worldview while hanging out with this band, the Haggerty Brothers and Larry DeMore, their singer. And as a band, they have a sort of an internal vernacular that a lot of bands develop, inside joke language that they use as shorthand to within the band to just cut through the bullshit of communication, right? Within the band Peg Boy, any instrument that is not an electric guitar or a drum kit is called a flute. Like, it doesn't matter what it is, it's a fucking flute. And they would relay these stories about like they're late for the gig because the other band had to clear their fucking flute boxes off the stage, or like, they'd show up for a thing and there'd be some poet on stage with a bunch of fucking flutes behind him. And it occurred to me that that's actually a nice shorthand, because in their mind, like, the only valid music is this sort of minimalist punk rock that that's their stock and trade, and everything else is flutes to them, because they don't even want to have to think about categorizing what kind of flute it is. It's like one of those long, flutes with the keys on it, or like the skinny flute that you blow in the other end of it, that kind of thing.
Or one of those whistles that only dogs can hear.
That's it. That's my whole flute thing.
That's the anecdote.
That's my flute hunk.
Okay.
Okay. Can we rate your stories and let you know which one we like the best?
Sure. Tear it up. I have a thick skin.
Okay.
I think I liked the pan flute one the best.
That one's definitely the most recent in my memory.
Mm-hmm. It was long, but I didn't entirely zone out.
That guy, I can picture that motherfucker. He's like a sort of, like a well-to-do hippie type dude with a ponytail, but like flop sweat just like pouring off of him. I can still picture that guy. Birkenstocks, the whole bit.
Oh yeah.
See, if you mentioned Birkenstocks initially, it would have been a better story.
Right.
Well, you're the writers.
Oh. Well, thanks for being on the program.
Thank you for having me. This was way more fun than I would have thought, from initially being so uncomfortable with 3 women in a bed in their bedclothes.
Oh, you're like everyone who watches the show, so it's fine.
People watch the show?
We said everyone. Like what? There's AJ, Eduardo.
I was misled when earlier when you said that no one watched the show. I took your word.
Right. I guess AJ and Eduardo.
They're nobodies.
Well, it might be like that profile that had the 3 people following it. They're all people who have a personal connection to you and feel obligated to. They don't want you to not see their name in the list of followers.
No one I'm friends with or related to watches this show, even though I've been doing it every week for the past year.
What's going on with the World Series of Poker this year? Is it on, or is it delayed? Virtual?
They did a kind of a cobbled together online version of the World Series of Poker, which I have a hard time taking seriously. I mean, I can't play in it because it's illegal to play online poker from Illinois, and I'm not going to relocate to New Jersey so that I can play on a laptop. That just doesn't seem like fun at all.
Maybe next year, huh?
Yeah, I mean, with luck, the live poker scene will come back, but right now it's very, very limited. Like, there are some places that have these sort of plexiglass habit trails for poker players, where they each of them in their own little cubicle with their mask on, and they have to have somebody wiping down the chips and cards all the time. Like, it's just such a crippled experience, like everything else into the pandemic.
Could you give us a taste of your poker face?
This is it. I only have the one.
Damn, that's good.
Yeah. Well, if you want, you can send over your credit card information so we can fly out the winner to come see you. But we'll sort that out after we let you go. Just letting you know.
Yeah, we'll do that in post.
I'm perfectly comfortable breaking that promise you've made. Yeah, sure.
The musician might actually be able to fly on a leaf to wherever you are.